Why didn't any of you tell me these two monsters were voiced by the same person?
You want to play with my Tiger-tastic car? No, I don't have any 8s.
Hey everyone, so I've spent the past month riding the Daniel Tiger hate train at full speed, and in that time, not a single one of you bothered to mention that the original actor for Daniel Tiger was also briefly the voice of PBS's most infamous mean queen, D.W. Reed.
Put some life into it!
While this seems too confounding to be true, it also explains why so many of us took an instant dislike to this fuzzy little freak. Just to be clear, I'm not here to talk trash about a child actor who, from what I can glean, was only 10 when he signed on to do these parts. I'm just pointing out that it's a bit jarring how the dude went from voicing the most annoying brat on PBS to then voicing what would become the new most annoying brat on PBS. So now knowing these two toxic twerps were once voiced by the same person, that ultimately begs the question, which one is the bigger brat? I think there's only one way to answer that question.
I'm gonna...
Okay, maybe there's two ways to answer that question. Today, let's take a look at an episode from each show where both brats share the same voice to determine definitively which one deserves the biggest FU. Let us commence this Battle of the Brats, which is what I'll be calling this segment until Snipe Snap sends his guard cat to silence me once and for all. But before that, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a hype since I guess that's still a feature. If we can hit 80,000 subscribers by Halloween, I'll cover one of Daniel Tiger's movies for my next subscriber milestone video. Let me know in the comments which of these awful movies you'd like to see me tear into. Let's not waste any more time and delve right in. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe and help get this video to 10,000 likes. Let's start things off with a 20th episode of Daniel Tiger titled Katerina Shares Her Tutu, where Daniel nearly kills his best friend over a silly little costume. Daniel Tiger is going to Katerina Kitty Cat's house to play. He heads inside the mustachioed pistachio tree and joins Katerina's jungle dance, which looks and sounds like a monkey getting eaten by a rattlesnake. Hey Daniel, maybe you'd dance better if you put down the damn stuffy. Katerina decides that she and Daniel should put on a jungle-themed play for her mom. Katerina says she wants to be a beautiful dancing flower, while Daniel goes with a more obvious choice.
Roar, lion!
Wow, a jungle cat wanting to play a different kind of jungle cat. What range?
I'm king of the jungle, roar!
Actually, Daniel, despite being called the king of the jungle, most lions don't actually live in the jungle, so you can't even stay on theme. The two rummage through Katerina's toy chest to find the perfect costumes, but wouldn't you know it, they both want to wear the same outfit. Katerina says she needs the tutu for her flower costume, while Daniel argues that he needs it for his lion's mane. The two get into a tutu tug of war when Katerina's mom intervenes to keep the kids from tearing each other's throats out. Katerina rightfully points out that since it's her tutu, she should get to decide who wears it. But Daniel really wants the tutu. Katerina's mom asks if they can share the tutu, and her daughter says, that. Katerina is reluctant to give up her tutu. And yeah, you could argue she's being a bit selfish, but given Daniel's history of never wanting to share anything, I can see why she'd be hesitant to hand it over. Katerina agrees to give Daniel the tutu, but reminds him that he has to give it back.
Don't forget the getting it back part, Meow Meow. I won't forget.
Lies. The show begins, and Daniel shows off his lion costume, though honestly, his head looks less like a lion and more like an expired condom. Katerina is surprised when Daniel actually gives back the tutu so she can do her flower dance.
You gave it back, Meow Meow!
I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. Katerina asks to borrow Daniel's stuffed animal for the jungle dance. And remember what I said about Daniel never wanting to share anything?
Tigy's mine!
Daniel, you damn hypocrite. Daniel finally agrees to share Tiggy, but only after Katerina agrees to hand over the tutu.
You can take a turn.
Whoa, how did you pull off your tutu like that? Did you yank it through your stomach? The two spend the rest of the afternoon sharing their toys, and Daniel ends the episode by lying directly to the audience.
I would take turns with you because you're my friend.
Bull Daniel. So Daniel Tiger clearly has his fair share of shitty moments, but that still begs the question, is he a bigger brat than DW? On one hand, you could argue that Daniel Tiger is more poorly written, as unlike DW, he wasn't intentionally written to be an annoying little twerp, even though everything he does on the show makes him look like an annoying little twerp. On the other hand, you can also argue the writers for Arthur did too good a job of making DW the most annoying character on the show.
You built it all wrong! Did you even read the directions?
Now let's take a look at Arthur's season 16 episode, All About DW, where the demonic demon child tries to steal the limelight from her supposed best friend. Arthur says DW will stop at nothing to get whatever she wants. After 16 seasons, you're just figuring this out now? The ankle biter in question is preparing her audition for her preschool's production of Little Red Riding Hood. She has Grandma Thora play the big bad wolf, and ropes her brother into playing a rather lethargic woodsman. DW yells at Arthur for using a tennis racket instead of an axe.
You don't play tennis! tennis. I'm not going to use a real axe.
You would think Arthur would jump at the chance to swing a real axe at this little red rash. DW says the characters need to be as authentic as possible, even though she didn't give her grandma any guff for not dressing up like a wolf. Talk about putting the critic in hypocritical. The graceless gaslighter claims her brother is trying to sabotage her audition on purpose, and DW is such a bad actor, she can't even shed crocodile tears on cue. And just in case you think there's any sincerity to DW's victim act, she goes right back to yelling at Arthur until he gives in to her demands.
We will practice the scene until we get it right.
To be fair, this is going much better than their last reenactment of Little Red Riding Hood, which featured a surprising amount of vorcest.
Arthur Reed, did you eat Grandma?
In preschool, Miss Morgan is about to announce the cast of the show, but DW assumes she already has the lead role in the bag. The egotistical egghead is so sure of herself that she doesn't even wait for her teacher to announce the lead role before making her acceptance speech in front of the whole class.
Thank you, thank you.
Surprise, surprise, it turns out Emily got the lead role, not DW. DW assumes there must be a mistake, as she persistently exudes main character energy. DW gets a long overdue reality check, as she learns she's not even good enough to play tree number 1.
Amanda's playing tree number 1.
Geez, Amanda, take it down a notch. You're still playing a fucking tree. Real question though, has anyone ever actually played a tree in their school play? I guess it makes sense if you're doing The Wizard of Oz, but as a lifelong theater kid, I have never been in a show where anyone was asked to play an inanimate object. I don't know where this trope came from, but I can't imagine casting someone to play a part that could be swapped out with a painted piece of cardboard. Instead of congratulating her best friend on getting the lead role, DW spends the rest of the day sulking how she doesn't get to be the star. Arthur tries to cheer up his sour-faced sister, who tells him to go sit on a pine cone.
I've wanted to play this part since I was 3.5.
Grandma Thora says DW could still be Emily's understudy, which means she would get to take over the lead role if something happened to Emily. Stop giving your granddaughter ideas, Thora. DW sees this as her chance to steal the spotlight, and starts hatching up schemes to get Emily to drop out of the show. She imagines digging a moat around Emily's house, and even in her own fantasy, DW is too stupid to avoid painting herself into a corner.
Wait a minute, I'm trapped too.
Back at preschool, we see the Tibbletarts have been cast as Grandma and the Big Bad Wolf, which is actually some clever casting on Miss Morgan's part. By having these roles played by twins, it makes more sense why Little Red might think they're the same person. Seriously though, if you can't tell the difference between a wild animal and your own grandma, your dumbass deserves to be eaten alive. DW tries to trick Emily into giving up the lead role by telling her about a show that's at the same time as the school play.
Cat Arctica. The tap dancing kittens on ice?
Sounds perfectly horrible. DW says she'd be happy to take over so Emily can go see the show. Emily sees right through the charlatan charade and tells her she'd rather be Little Red Riding Hood than go see Cats on Ice. DW then disrupts the rest of rehearsal by offering Emily increasingly ludicrous bribes to get her to drop out of the show, including a trip to Paris.
I didn't say it was Paris, France. There's a bakery called Paris at the mall.
You can't even spell Paris Trois Pute Petite. DW decides that if she can't bribe Emily to give up her part, she'll have to think of another way to get her to quit the show. The next day, DW shows off her homemade Dick Dastardly mask. She says Emily can use it to hide her face in case she messes up during the show. Emily again sees through DW's ruse and throws her backhanded comment right back in her face. Literally, DW proceeds to ruin another rehearsal by parroting Emily's lines as she says them.
I'm on my way to Grandma's house because...
DW refuses to apologize for openly attempting to usurp Emily's role, and promptly earns herself a seat on the naughty stool. DW then blames her grandma for getting her hopes up about being the star of the show, even though Grandma Thora never told her to be an antagonizing little to her best friend. Thora tells her ungrateful granddaughter that she can't always be the center of attention. She points out how it wouldn't be fair if Emily tried to hog something that DW wanted. You mean like a dumb little bouncy ball? Yeah, that'd be really stupid. DW finally concedes that she's been acting like a jackass, and promises to apologize to Emily.
I'll apologize to her first thing tomorrow morning.
Who the f are you and what have you done with DW? The next day, the teacher reveals Emily has lost her voice, and the Tibble Trolls rightfully assume DW had something to do with it.
She didn't lose it, you stole it, didn't you?
DW, how dare you make me agree with the Tibble trash? So after watching DW be a nuisance at every rehearsal, Miss Morgan makes the only reasonable decision and gives her the lead role of Little Red Riding Hood.
What? What?
DW is starting to have second thoughts about starring in the show, even though she spent the whole episode whining how she deserves to be the star. That night, DW has a nightmare where she's tormented by Emily's wolf persona and Amanda's spooky tree face.
Don't mess up.
Geez, Amanda, take it down like 50 notches. DW then dreams about getting on stage, where she's automatically heckled by the crowd, as she rightfully should be.
Well, how embarrassing.
Ironically, DW can't remember any of her lines, and Emily tells her to put on the Dastardly mask so she can show everyone how much of a dick she really is. It's the day of the show, and it looks like Little Red is riding blind. The play starts, and the red-caped cretin struggles to utter a single line.
I'm Little Red Winifred. Dad.
I swear, the three little pigs could build a whole house out of all the bricks she just shat.
I'm on my way to Wolf's house.
Are they doing Jack and the Beanstalk now? Cause DW just laid a goose egg. DW goes from chewing the scenery to knocking it to the ground. Instead of letting the stupefied starlet stew in her own shame, Emily steps in to stop DW from humiliating herself any further. Not sure how that's gonna be possible. Instead of rightfully reclaiming her role as Little Red, Emily instead elects to spoon-feed DW's lines to her one at a time. You know, to make things less humiliating. DW somehow manages to get through the entire show without drowning in a pool of her own flop sweat. And how does she thank Emily for saving her ass?
Next time, I'm sticking with tree number 2. It's a much better part.
Oh, go f*** yourself. So now that we've seen both episodes, let's determine which of these two terrible twerps is truly the more vicious brat. First up, we have Daniel Tiger, who insisted on hogging all of Katerina's costumes for himself. He got into a fight over a stupid tutu and only agreed to share after Katerina's mom intervened. When Katerina asked him to share his toy, Daniel refused to show his friend the same kindness. And even when Daniel finally decided to share, he only did so after Katerina agreed to let him have the tutu whenever he wanted. Up next, we have DW Reed, who ruined her preschool's play just so she could get the lead role. DW bullied her family into helping her prepare for her audition, and then refused to accept reality when she didn't get the part she wanted. Instead of supporting her best friend, DW spent the whole episode trying to bully Emily into giving up her role. When she couldn't bribe Emily into quitting, DW then tried to trick her into getting stage fright. DW's antics got so bad that both her teacher and her grandma had to tell her to cut the crap. When DW finally realized she needed to apologize to Emily, the world decided to reward her shitty behavior by giving her the lead role anyway. DW ended up getting exactly what she wanted, and then proceeded to shit the bed. DW ruined the show by flubbing her lines and tearing the set to the ground. And even when Emily helped her get over her nerves, DW never actually apologized for trying to sabotage her, and showed no gratitude for being allowed to play a role she clearly wasn't prepared for. So while Daniel Tiger may be a massive pain in the ass, I think it's fair to say DW is the clear winner of this battle.
Thank you.
Though if it was an actual fight, I think we all know how that would turn out. F you, DW. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do another Daniel Tiger vs. DW matchup video. This actually isn't the first time a voice actor for DW has gone on to voice another infamous cartoon character. The actor who voiced DW in the infamous Arthur's Big Hit episode went on to have a leading role in the criminally underrated PBS cartoon Zagwa, where he also played the asshole sibling of the title character.
Rain spirit dragons don't spit fire.
Let me know if you'd like to see me do a matchup of those two characters as well. If there's a specific cartoon you want me to watch, top tier patrons can commission a review from my channel. You can also become a channel member to get early access to all my uncensored videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If we could learn to work and play and get along with each other.